Caleb Wiliams mentions rewriting history when talking about the Chicago Bears quarterback history. Also, he will not share his medicals with all 32 teams in the draft. Is that a little bit concerning? Drake Maye also talks about the Chicago Bears. We talk about those things, some of the best safety prospects in this draft for the Chicago Bears, and it's Friday, so that means we're diving into the mailbag. All that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. So both quarterbacks, or two out of the three quarterbacks, and Caleb Wiliams and Drake Maye took the stadium yesterday. And of course, Caleb Wiliams was asked a lot about the Chicago Bears, the Bears' history with quarterback, and he said this: "I'm my own player. I tend to create history and rewrite history." Now, that history that he's mentioning is the fact that the Chicago Bears have had 29 different starting quarterbacks since 2000. And when you look at that, the closest thing that we had to really saying that we had a franchise quarterback was Jay Cutler. Now, the hope was that when Justin Fields came in, he was going to break that the Chicago Bears quarterback curse. And because of the things that went on with the team, both his own progression, coaching situations, things like that, it's done everything but that. So now that's where we sit right now with Caleb Wiliams, and a lot of Bears fans wondering what's going to happen if the Bears are going to draft Caleb Wiliams and trade Justin Fields, trade the number one overall pick, get the historic haul that so many people are talking about. When it comes down to it, if Caleb Wiliams is drafted, he would be, or could be, the 30th starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears in just 24 years. Now, that's still a long-ass time when it comes down to it. So that's kind of all the situations around that. In the press conference with Caleb Wiliams and getting to the podium, of course, there's a lot of quotables there, things like that. But the thing with Caleb, him saying, he was asked about his size, right? And, he said that this is the first time he's been asked that he's 6'1", 6'2". He even said, I'm about the same size and weight of Aaron Rodgers, which that has been a comparison that's now been thrown around a lot to it. When it comes down to it, like, Caleb Wiliams handled the press conference well. He handled it absolutely well and handled it like somebody who had been there before. Now, did he come off like a little bit of a dickhead? Yeah, but that's all quarterbacks. They should, right? You have that confidence. You're clearly going to be the number one overall pick. You should come off like that a little bit. So, again, that's not a personal shot to him. When I say dickhead, you guys know, if you're from Chicago, you understand the term dickhead gets thrown around a lot. We don't mean anything by it, so please don't take it that way. Before you guys get the keyboard warring in the goddamn comment section, it's not that goddamn serious. But with that said, so, that's what came out of it. Now, we also found out early today, that Caleb Wiliams will not be sharing his medicals with all 32 teams in the NFL, leading some people to ask, well, what's going on with those medicals? Is there something there? I don't think so. Like, I'm not too worried about it when it comes down to it personally. Like, I get it. It's all about posturing. The last thing you want is somebody kind of mulling over the fact that you got a sprained big toe or something like that, right? But when it comes to it, this situation with Caleb Wiliams, the Bears and everything, like we even heard over on the Windy City Breeze, shout out to the Windy City Breeze and Pat the Designer. Of course, there are questions around Caleb Wiliams' leadership, right? That's been one of the things with him. He's a gunslinger, things like that. But overall, when it comes down to it, the Bears this decision is going to come down soon. And I would not be surprised at all if we know something coming out of the weekend into next week, and we'll see what ends up coming of that. And like I said before, anybody who's a Bears fan, if you are a Chicago Bears fan first, it's just about getting the right decision made. And if Caleb Wiliams does end up becoming the new quarterback of the Chicago Bears, we here at Chicago Bears Central are going to root for him. We have, of course, our own thought process, but at the end of the day, you get drafted by this team, we want to see you be successful. Now, another player that's, of course, probably going to be the second quarterback drafted was Drake Maye. And Drake Maye was also asked about it when it came down to it. And he was asked about, potentially being drafted by the Bears and Bears fans, when it comes to Mitch Trubisky and the comparisons there. And I love his answer. Now, I don't think the Bears are going to draft him, but I do love his answer. They're saying this: I think people analyze the helmet more than the player. And he also said about Chicago, it's a great sports town. Chicago is good as it gets. I just went in there and let it be known who I was. Listen, if Ryan Poles is as open as what Ryan Poles has said it is, I really do, and I believe that. It's going to come down to a couple of things, right? And they're going to use the mindset, the leadership part, as part of their evaluation. And it sounds like Drake Maye did himself a favor in the case of that. But, it seems like this race is going to come down to Caleb or Justin. And it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility for Ryan Poles to throw a swerve out there and maybe go a different direction and still trade down. Probably not going to get that historic haul, but still trade down. But, don't count out Justin either. But as the clock keeps ticking, we may have that decision sooner rather than later. But you guys can let me know what you guys think on all that down below. Now, with that said, I said coming up on today, we're going to talk about some of the best safety prospects in this draft. I'm going to start off with the guy that I've been talking about a lot here. He's my favorite pick that I like to see the Chicago Bears get, and that's Jaden Hicks out of Washington State, 6'3", 215 pounds. This guy, when it comes down to it, instinct. And by the way, all these safety prospects are probably going to go on day 2. So there you go there. But Jaden Hicks, like the instincts that he has is just, it's ridiculous. On-ball skills as well. He's versatile in where you can line him up at. Listen, he's one of the smartest players that you're going to find at the position as well. He can use both in the run game and pass coverage. This guy's just an impact player in the wings waiting, and it honestly seems like for some reason, some of the criticisms around him are dropping his draft stock a little bit. Now, he's not the fastest person. He does also have some tackling issues, which we've already had with Eddie Jackson, so maybe that turns the Bears off on him. And he struggles some in man-to-man coverage. Now, we know that the Bears will still run that antiquated zone coverage system, so it's not too big of a concern specifically for the Chicago Bears. But if you're looking at it and saying if you ever have to switch systems, maybe there's some concern there. But I do think that Jaden Hicks is a day 2 player. He's going to go drafted in that day 2. And whatever team drafts him, he has the potential to become a starter right away. His foot speed is one of the questions, and I said that tackling thing. But outside of that, Jaden Hicks is a big-time playmaker, and I would not be mad at all if the Chicago Bears decide to go his way. But can't zero in on just players that I would like to see the Chicago Bears draft. There's another one, another 2 that I want to bring up in this. Carmen Kitchens out of Miami. This is a guy that Bobby actually brought up. He's definitely somebody. He's 5'11", 205 pounds. He recorded 11 interceptions and 120 tackles over his last 2 seasons in college football. This guy is also a dog. He's one of the best safety prospects in this draft as well. The aggression, the instincts as well. You don't have kind of the tackling concerns that you have with Jaden Hicks as well in this draft. And when you look at it, Ryan Poles has found almost all of our secondaries come from the second round. Jaquan Brisker, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, all players that were drafted in the second round, but we've seen how the Bears have been able to develop these guys. I think I like Kitchens as well as another prospect that the Bears could get in that second round that really could pay off big dividends for the Bears in the future. And then the next one, the last one I'm going to talk about on today's episode is Kitten Oladapo, I believe is how you pronounce it. Listen, it's another starting level safety that can be got here for the Chicago Bears. The thing with it also is that he also can play in the slot. And he really could help the Bears in either man or zone coverage. He's really solid. He's a physical safety as well in this, and you got to like that about it. And he's quick. The dude is absolutely fast, and he was a starter for 3 years at Oregon State. He totaled 3 interceptions and 250 tackles over that time. Now, for the Bears fans that want to see somebody who's a ball hawk, who can get the ball, maybe there's some questions there. But these are the 3 guys at that safety position that I really hope the Bears walk away with one of these guys at least. And I think they could do wonders for the Chicago Bears. But you guys can let me know what you guys think on that down below. Now, it's Friday, so that means it's Mailbag Day. It's time to get into these voicemails for today. The first one, this one's coming from Fred.
Hey, Cognac boy, Steve-O, Kevo, what it do, fellas? This be your boy Fred, man. Man, I can't wait till this free agency here and this draft be over with, man. I'm so tired of hearing this talk about like the main media know what the fuck the Bears gonna do as far as trading Justin Fields and all that. I'm just tired, man. I'm just ready to get this out the way, and I'm just ready, you know what I'm saying? Because it's annoying, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so tired of people thinking, oh, the Bears going to take Caleb and all this. And my thing is, my question for y'all, how is that they keep trying to compare this man to Patrick Mahomes because they seen what he did his Heisman year? I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, y'all keep going off this man Heisman year, and y'all not going off to this past season what he's done. I thought that's what you're supposed to do, go off the past season when somebody played, not go back to the season previous before that. Like, it makes no sense. This dude, he doesn't have an agent. So that's a red flag right there. Ryan Poles not going to deal with a player that doesn't have an agent. You know what I'm saying? So I think that knocks it out the box right there because he went through this with Roquan, and Roquan didn't have an agent. And what did he do? Trade him. So, and Ryan Poles, if he's smart as I think he is, I believe he traded that number 1 overall pick. He get, some haul pick, he get hella picks back. He build around Justin. He go through free agency as well, and bring, personnel players in as well that can help this team win. Because honestly, I watched the show yesterday, what was it, Thursday, Haize was talking about if Eberflus on the hot seat. I don't even think Eberflus just on the hot seat. I think Ryan Poles on the hot seat as well too, because if he sit here and trade Justin Fields and draft Caleb, and Caleb don't pan out to be the quarterback as everybody projected him to be, then I think his ass will be on the hot seat as well too. So if I know he's a smart man, he'd go with Justin because he know what he has in Justin. And I don't know why nobody's not talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. like that anyway. And all they keep talking about is quarterbacks. I'm tired of hearing everybody talk about quarterbacks. Talk about other positions and other players as well too. Like, come on, man. Like, this shit is getting out of hand, man. And everybody keep hollering 10-28. I'm like, fucking Troy Aikman, he was 6-27. He didn't win his Super Bowls till like what? His fourth year. So what are we doing here? So I just hope Ryan Poles, man, make the right decision, keeping Justin Fields and trading that number one pick and building around, this team and get this team ready and rolling for the playoffs and some possible Super Bowls, appearance as well, though. So let me know what you think, fellas. Chicago up, bet down or nothing.
Comparing Caleb Williams to Mahomes, I mean, listen, comps are going to be a thing. And I think when you realize it, like, I don't think people are saying, well, most of the time, reasonable people, when they make comps, they're making comps to kind of the skill set, right? Caliber and skill set are different. You can have very similar skill sets, but that doesn't mean you're the caliber of the player that you're being compared to. But I think they mean it kind of both ways with Caleb Williams. But, I like that comparison that Swifty and other people have made as far as like Aaron Rodgers with that. Now, as far as the no agent part of your voicemail, here's what I'm going to say to that. You know, I like to talk about things from both sides. You guys know I'm a guy that would love to see Justin Fields get an opportunity with the new offensive staff and better weapons in the offensive line. But when it comes to it, the agent part of it, Ryan Poles didn't trade Roquan Smith because he didn't have an agent. He actually was negotiating with Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith was traded because he wanted money that's kind of set the tone for linebackers in the NFL. That was the thing. So I think this kind of notion that, Ryan Poles won't deal with a player with no agent is kind of overblown to a degree. Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% sure that Ryan Poles would much rather negotiate with a player that has an agent, as with most GMs in the league. But I don't think that that's going to be a determining factor in drafting a young rookie if you see him as your guy. So I don't think that's going to be the case. Now, as far as Poles being on the hot seat, here's what I'm going to say. You're right. If Poles trades Justin Fields and he shines and Caleb doesn't, that can put Ryan Poles on the hot seat. But again, in fairness, the same can be said the other way around. If he passes on Caleb and Justin Fields ends up not turning out to be great and Caleb ends up turning out to be great, that can equally put him on the hot seat. So it's not this thing that it's like, well, Poles will only be put on the hot seat if we draft Caleb and trade Justin Fields. It can happen either way. That's why Ryan Poles is spending so much time really going over all the options and scenarios to make the best decision. Because, yeah, I'm not saying he's doing it just to avoid being on the hot seat, but you want to get this right for your franchise to build around going forward. And even Ryan Poles saying that they have the time, this chance this season to really set an amazing foundation. And we'll see what they're going to do with that. But great voicemail, Fred. Thank you for that one. Let's get into this next one. This one is from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas here, man. I'm just wondering, dude, I just had a thought. Why is it that when people talk about Justin Fields' stats, and I'm tired of talking about Justin, I really am. I wish they just go ahead and name him the starter and move on, but it's still a thing, so I'm going to talk about it. Why do people that they always talk about how he's 29 PBR in the fourth quarter and all that type of stuff? I just don't understand why that's such a bigger headline and nobody is taking into account like what he had. If you go back and look at that Matt Nagy team that he had, I mean, he had hardly any offensive line, no receivers. You look at what he did have with Getsy. Yes, his fourth quarter numbers were bad last year, but we also had fucking Luke Getsy last year, and he was just calling unbelievably stupid plays in the fourth quarter. And I don't understand why the league, the media can't analyze that if we as fans see it. I don't understand why that's not taken into account. Why is it just simply, hey, he didn't do good in the fourth quarter? I get it. The quarterback's going to take the blame for the loss, and, I get that. But I just don't understand how people don't look with their fucking eyes, dude. and see what he had to work with. Yes, if you look at his numbers, Justin's numbers probably aren't that great, but he has never had a good offensive coordinator since he's been in the league, you know? And if he's good enough to be traded for a second-round pick, which is what people are saying, then that means he's franchise quarterback potential. People don't give up second-round picks for a guy that's a bust. They just simply don't. So I'm so confused, man. This Chicago sports media and fan base is so damn toxic. I don't even know. It's like it's beyond logic at this point. Like, from a logical perspective, you're looking at that kid, you should see his talent. And, yeah, his fourth quarter numbers are bad. Yes, he has, he hasn't really beat Green Bay all that much, and that's a big thing in Chicago. I get that. But, man, we've had some terrible offensive coordinators. And I just don't understand why that's not taken into account. Now we got a better GM that I trust more. So I guess if he wants to bring a quarterback in, I have to trust his opinion. He's been nothing but great so far. But, man, it's so stupid that it's almost illogical to sit here and just judge Justin Fields, but just completely be blind and disregard the fact that he's had no offensive coordinators and a mediocre offensive line at best. So I don't know, man. That's just the thought that I had. I don't understand the psychology behind sports media anymore. Just let me know what you think, brother. Take us up there, Dan.
Darius always one of the most level-headed people, even though he can be a little off the rip sometimes. But love Darius, man. Here's the thing: Luke Getsy absolutely had an impact on Justin Fields, and that's regardless. Now, there's also fair things to say about Justin Fields in his own development, right? I always want to talk about it and try to shoot it straight. But for the people that try to eliminate the fact of Luke Getsy's impact on Fields' development, I'm sorry, you're missing the point. Now, I'm not saying it's all on that, but it definitely affects that. Absolutely. And if you don't think coaching matters and affects somebody's development, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not a real sports fan in that case if you don't think that it happens. But again, you got to sometimes also you got to look at a player to own that own development. I always say this. Every player has their own perfect scenario in which they can develop in. Sometimes it needs to be more structured. Some players can develop with less structure around it, right? Justin Fields, we saw it with less structure, changing offensive coordinators. He has not overcome some of the things that he needs to develop and work on his own game. Now, some of that's still on him. Some of that's on the coaching staff. And who's to say with a better coaching staff, maybe he overcomes that, and that's his own perfect scenario to do that in. And as far as the national media not taking all things into consideration, it's what we've talked about before, Darius, is because the national media is about making the hardest takes possible to get those clicks. And that's what it is. It's all about headlines. It's all about clicks. It's all about story turning. That's what it is with the national media. That's why I don't fuck with the national media much. I just don't. I like, outside of the closest thing that I listen to or support daily that's the national media would probably be Pat the Designer over at the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. That's the closest thing to national media that I would support. Everything else, like, I watch it. I look at the clips because I want to stay informed on what they're saying about our team. But generally, the national media is a bunch of, it's bullshit. And, that's just how I feel about it. You guys can let me know how you feel on that one. Let's get into the next voicemail. This one's from Big Steve.
What's up, brothers? It's good to be back again. Big Steve out in L.A. I wanted to really quickly touch on something. I'm glad you guys is not pushing that quarterback agenda thing. It's getting old. It's getting old. Me, I love Justin Fields. Simple as that. I love him. I want him to stay here in Chicago. I want him with the Bears. But like you said, regardless of who the quarterback going to be, they going to be in a much better situation than Justin ever was with the Bears. This is why one of the reasons I really hope that it's Justin. We've seen what Justin can do in the NFL without help. But I want to get off of that. I want to ask you brothers today, man, we got so many other gaps, so many other issues that we need to address. But everybody's so surrounded by the quarterback. Ain't nobody talking about this center. We need a center. We need a center badly. Not only that, I really believe we need some guards, offensive guards, and we need a left tackle. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on this. I'm just saying on the offensive side of the ball right now. We know we have needs also on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, for whatever quarterback it may be, we need a center, some guards, and a left tackle. Do y'all agree with me or not?
So many other positions for the Bears to fill. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And I don't think that you can overlook that. We have tons of positions that we need to fill on this team. Absolutely. And anybody who's overlooking that is just missing the point. The Bears have positions that they need to fill big time, and it does not go away. And, we'll end up seeing what comes of it, man. I look at it and say this. The positions that the Bears have to fill are positions that I think the Bears are going to fill regardless, right? And so they know they're going to do that. But the quarterback is always going to get the most conversation because it's the position of quarterback in the NFL. So it's always going to be the talk. People aren't going to talk like, hey, what centers you think? That's what us right here is for, right? That's what me, Swifty, and I don't want to undercut it. Even the tape never lies, right? Other Bears podcasts, the Windy City Breeze, those guys, like all great. Barrelissimo, like these are all great. Like that's for us to cover. The national media is gonna, when there's a quarterback story, they're gonna cover the quarterback story. All right, let's get into this next one. This one's from Book.
Yo, Haize, what's up, man? This Book, man. Hey, blessings to you and yours, man. I know it's been a while, man. I had to fall back, man, because I'm just sick of everything, man. I'm sick of the quarterback speak. I'm sick of everything. But this off season, man, has been a trip, man, because everybody is just talking out the side of their necks, man. At one day they saying Justin Fields is for sure gone. Then the next day they say the number one pick is gone. And then they said Caleb is, if you pass on Caleb, you stupid. Now they saying Jaden Daniels should be the first overall pick. Nobody know what they talking about, man. Everybody's just talking to talk. That's why the media, the national media, make me sick, man. And it's crazy to me that the Bears are getting so much pub when nobody really gives a damn about that team. But now everybody want to jump on the bandwagon. But you know what? Y'all can go ahead and jump right back off, because I do have a feeling no matter who is under center, that the Bears are about to explode and about to be a contender for years to come. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but I'm saying they're going to be in the runnings for playoffs and for potential championships for years to come. Ryan Poles has built this team exactly how it should have been built from the beginning. He's the first GM to do it. Instead of throwing patches on things, he is actually building this team from the ground up the correct way for sustained success. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Have a good weekend. Shout out to all the familiars. Shout out to Cache. Shout out to Marifa, the Reverend, as I call him, because he be on here preaching. Everybody else that call in, man, hey, Chicago up, bear down. I'm still surprised you ain't put that on the shirt yet. All right, man, peace.
First of all, Book, you know I love you, brother, and I'm always gonna rock with Booker, Book, because Book shoots it straight, man. And here's the thing: Ryan Poles has built this team amazingly, and that's the thing that I'm going to take away from it. What Ryan Poles has done and the foundation that he's laid has been great. When you look at how he's cleared the dead cap, how he cleared some of the veterans, yeah, we missed those veterans, things like that, but who we replaced them with? Yeah, we didn't re-sign Roquan, but listen, we end up getting T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds to add to Jack Sanborn, and we got Noah Sewell in the wings to hopefully develop some. Look at Javon Dexter, the defensive line, getting Montez Sweat. I just talked about all the second-round picks that have turned into starters for us in that secondary. All important parts of what Ryan Poles has done. Now, the offense has not gone addressed in a lot of ways that Bears fans and me would like to see it addressed, even though I'm a defensive guy. But Ryan Poles is setting a really good base, and I do trust Ryan Poles to make this decision. Regardless of what happens with Justin Fields or anyone, the expectations of this team are going to be that of, what can we make the playoffs? Can we go on this run? Because that is the important part of it. I really do think that. Now, you say that he set the foundation of us being this playoff team and championship caliber team for years and years forward. That's the job of a GM. And I like that we have a GM that it seems like we can trust, that he has the mindset and the focus to really develop as much as this team as humanly possible and to get us in a place where we're going to have that sustained success, right? That's what we want to see, is the sustained success. The quick success is easy for some teams to have, but when you build something meaningful and you do it right, you have that sustained success that goes over years and years to come. And yeah, you're going to have to make audibles. You're going to have to make changes. You're going to get some things wrong. There are going to be some players that disappoint. But when you build it right, it is sustained over time. And that's what we deserve to see here in Chicago. All right, let's get into the last voicemail for the day. This one's from Ant.
What up, Haize? This your boy Ant, the big homie, calling from downstate Illinois by way of the west side. Look, bro, I know you guys are tired of hearing about the quarterback. I don't want to say controversy, but the quarterback situation. I know you hear one more comment, probably make you want to go Earl in the trash can. But I'm going to look at it from a different perspective, bro. I heard what Ryan Poles said. He said they like to look at quarterbacks in two situations, either a surgeon or an artist. And, bro, I don't think he's describing Justin Fields when he's mentioning those two types. Because if you think about, yes, us Chicago fans, we love Justin. He's a bear. He's a physical, hard-nosed, like you just go stick his nose in the situation, try to get it done. But do we need that from our quarterback? Is Justin able to read defenses and process things in real life game speed? Can Justin make the correct check to offset what the defense is trying to do to him? Can he play that chess with the defense mentally? Maybe he can get there, but I don't think he's there. I don't even know if he's that type of quarterback. I think Justin is a read and react as far as physical capabilities, but is he there mentally? And that was one knock that they used to say about black quarterbacks. And trust me, I'm not trying to go there because we done came a long way, and that's something that they said to hinder, the black quarterbacks back in the day. So I'm not saying that, but all I'm saying is when he gets to the line, is he processing things at a quick enough speed? And maybe that's not what Justin Strong is, but maybe that's what Caleb. Maybe that's the distinctive factor between him and Caleb. Maybe that's what we need, bro, because there's a couple throws that Justin just didn't see last year, and guys was wide the fuck open, and he just didn't see it. Now, all quarterbacks miss throws. That's not, he's not Dan Marino or nobody, so he's not perfect by no stretch of the imagination. All quarterbacks miss throws. But are they saying that he's not processing the information in a quick enough manner to where they feel comfortable? And one more caveat before I get off of here. If you were the general manager, if you were Ryan Poles, and your job is on the line with this pick, I don't see how you can pass up Caleb. Knowing your job is on the line, I don't see how you can do that. But let me know what your thoughts was. Thoughts is, appreciate the content, bro. Love watching. Y'all know what it is. Chicago up.
Question on Fields processing. Yeah, those questions absolutely exist, right? And I want to be clear here. In me saying that I'm a Justin Fields supporter does not mean that I think Justin Fields is perfect. I think sometimes because we've become so rational, like galvanized as a fan base, right? That it's like, hey, what are we doing? Or polarizing. We're polarizing, galvanized. Which one's positive? You guys know what I mean, right? That as a fan base, that like it's like this thing that we just look at it and if you say something positive about Justin, people take it as you're saying in a knock about Caleb, or you're saying Justin's perfect. If you say a positive about Caleb, somehow you're talking shit about Justin or whatever else. Like, at the end of the day, both these quarterbacks have big flaws. And what I've always said since this offseason has started is that Ryan Poles has to look at it and say, do I feel like with the situation that we're building, can Justin Fields overcome his flaws, or is Caleb the better prospect and he can overcome his flaws, and who's going to be the height to really get us to where we need to go? And that's what it is. And like I said in the first voicemail, Poles' job could be on the line either way. If you don't get this decision right, and I don't mean like the outcome could be that both of them suck. Let's just say that that's a possibility, right? But if you choose one of these quarterbacks and the other one excels while the other one does not develop, then that's when you get into a part where your job could be on the line. So I don't want to look at it as your job's just on the line if you pass up on Caleb, or your job's just on the line if you trade Justin. It really comes down to it could go either way. And that's why Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren and everybody, they understand the importance of getting this decision right and what this can mean not only for your franchise, but possibly for your job in the future as well. Great voicemails from everyone there. By the way, y'all, next week, here's what I want. I know the quarterback situation is the biggest talk. Can we get some voicemails that aren't about the quarterback? Like, I know we got one in here. Can we get some other voicemails in here that aren't about the quarterback? We know it. We understand where everybody sits on the Justin Fields, Caleb Wiliams debate. Can we get some non-quarterback? On Friday next week, I'm going to prioritize non-QB question voicemails. So there you go. Doesn't mean I won't play some or one or two, but I'm going to prioritize and look for in the voicemail bag voicemails that aren't about the quarterback position. There you guys have it on that one. Make sure you guys are following the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.